All right, are you guys ready? Yeah. All right. I'm Bradley Horowitz, head of product for Google+, and we've done lots of things in Charlie's. We've had lots of interesting events here, but today is the first time, to my knowledge, we're going to host a Broadway production here in Charlie's. Are you guys ready for that? So as you know, we're excited to host the cast and the creatives of the amazing production of American Idiot. And Green Day band members Billy Joe Armstrong, Mike Dirnt, and Trey Cool brought American Idiot to stage, beginning with the Berkeley Rep Theater. Go Berkeley, yay, here in the Bay Area. So this is something of a homecoming for the show. We want to thank SHN, the folks that bring amazing musical productions to San Francisco. We want to thank them for bringing them here today for the Talks at Google series. And for more info on the show, American Idiot, and all upcoming SHN shows in San Francisco, you can, of course, visit shnsf.com, or you can Google it. So to get going, we're going to start off with a brief video that explains the creation of American Idiot. So let's roll the video.
In 2004, Green Day released American Idiot and promptly revolutionized rock music. Hailed by Time magazine as a masterpiece, the album launched the band into superstardom, selling over 12 million copies and winning the Grammy for Rock Album of the Year. While on Broadway, Tony Award-winning director Michael Mayer was assembling one of the most innovative teams in the theater to join with Green Day and bring American Idiot to the stage.
The idea of theatricalizing this album came to me just from listening to it over and over again and hearing a very strong emotional narrative. It was the story of American youth looking to improve their lives. And I felt like that's just such a great coming-of-age story.
I was able to hear a really intense, beautiful story right away. There's so much here that feels like it's new and fresh and pushing the boundaries that I think that when all is said and done, American Idiot is going to have a very important place in this rich art form of musical theater.
Don't wanna be an American Idiot. The stage version of American Idiot had its world premiere at Berkeley Rep in September 2009. After 2 extensions and 1 record-breaking run later, the move to Broadway was inevitable.
I play the character of Johnny, aka the Jesus of Suburbia. I kind of lead my friends into this catharsis of there's got to be something else out there. I don't know what it is, but this just can't be all there is.
I think immediately in the first time that you see our characters meet, there's this very quick kind of like, there's something about you that does something to me. And he shows her almost like a sweet gesture to her that is funny to her and makes her laugh and makes her feel warm and less empty and less alone.
We've always thought that somehow there should be some sort of stage version because that's what we were thinking in our heads. You know, the musical arrangements that Tom Kitt did. You know, I mean, it's amazing, and their energy is it's just inspiring.
Television dreams of tomorrow. We're not the ones that tomorrow. We're messing up to our you.
All right, so after a smash run on Broadway this past December, the first national tour launched to critical acclaim, and it's been a hit across North America. They're here in San Francisco for about the next 4 weeks, and we're very pleased to welcome the cast here of American Idiot here with us today. So I'm going to call off their names, and they're going to come up one by one, and I'm going to do my best with your names. Van Hughes, give him a welcome. Joshua Kobach. Scott Campbell, Jake Epstein, Gabby McClinton, Nikki Claspel, Leslie McDonald, Talia Aaron, Christina Alabado, Gabe Antonacci, Larkin Bogan, Jen Bowles, Matt DeAngelis, Dan Gleason, Kelvin Moon Lowe, Tommy McDowell, Jillian Muller, Jaron Muse, Vince Odo, and Oak. All right. Welcome. All right, we're going to get some mics for you guys. Those that are close to seats, please be seated. So I've got some questions. We'll see where the conversation goes. I'm sure these folks have some questions, and most of all, we're here to see you perform. But I want to start out with the opening of the show, because it opens with big crashing guitars, explosive choreography, in-your-face vocals, and I heard it's also very loud. So what is it like to sort of pummel the audience that way with, your first blow?
Well, we call it a punk rock assault, theater style. It starts with, like you said, like an explosion. And for us too, it's like getting launched out of a cannon, because we do the show 8 times a week, and it's pretty tiring, I guess. So we're all pretty fatigued, but as soon as you hear that, that kind of like gets you going, and the girls launch out onto the stage with fury of all hell breaking loose, and you see it on the faces of the audience. I mean, the audiences are like, what is this? And then the show takes a completely different turn, and kind of packs an emotional punch by the end. But we definitely start out with quite the assault.
Yeah, and I think this is different than any musical theater or concert or production. It's sort of like a new art form in a lot of ways. It's different than anything that's come before. And one of the differences is that almost all the narrative is done through song. There's not a lot of interstitial breaks where you sort of get into deep dialogue. The song is the story. And I wondered if some of you could comment on what that's like. Is it harder to sort of be constrained by the songs and you sort of wish there could be more, Greek chorus explanation of what's going on, or does it work for you guys?
Well, I know for me, a lot of my friends and people who see the show, they really enjoy it because it does have a way of engaging the audience and connecting with you emotionally without the need of much prose, without all of that dialogue, which is what's really beautiful. And it also allows the show to move at like that breakneck pace, because there's not the time to talk about things and shift stuff and set all things. It's just go, 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 go. And everything is so well written and the music is so rich that you don't really need words. Ideally, that's why you sing in musical theater, because words aren't enough. So.
Well, and it's interesting because it becomes very personal as an actor. All of a sudden, you don't have words. You kind of have to fill in all the blanks yourself. And so all of a sudden, these songs that you're singing come from you because you don't have any other choice. There's nothing else to kind of hang yourself on. You have to kind of sketch out your character for yourself, a lot of it. So I know that when I first saw the show as an audience member, before I was in the cast, seeing all these people sing these songs and not knowing a lot about them, I saw these people singing these songs as opposed to characters, and I really connected with that.
There's such a rich history and tradition with rock operas and musical theater anyway. This is certainly an evolution, and it's a different thing, and it's crazy. But like Jesus Christ Superstar and Tommy and shows that are completely sung through have always kind of had a place in the industry. And then we kind of, well, not we specifically, but the creative team and everybody took it to a new level with this, which is kind of cool.
So are you guys punks or are you theater geeks? Of course.
Well, punk rock is just kind of just saying, this is what I am and deal with it, So I think a lot of us have that in our core.
Yeah.
For sure.
I can tell from looking at you. Okay, the bond of Johnny, Tunney, and Will is evident from the beginning. Van, Scott, and Jake, can you briefly tell us who your characters are and about the bond that they share? And specifically, do you think this is like emblematic of a moment when the album was released, or is this sort of a characteristic of bonding that happens throughout time for youth?
Well, I play Johnny, the Jesus of Suburbia, and we start the play with me having this idea that we're going to leave our suburban waste town and see what else is out there and move to the big city. So I'm kind of like rallying my best friends in the world to go for it with me, and I'm like, here are the bus tickets, we're out of here, And I think that's like one of the most universal feelings that anyone has ever felt, especially in America, where you want to go out and discover what else there is. You know, I think it like goes all the way back to what Plato said about finding the real truth. Like sometimes you have to ignore what your family is telling you because they're seeing you a certain way, and you just have to completely embrace a new idea.
I like it because these characters are drawn in such a way where, you know, they really lean on each other. At the top, I mean, it's a really kind of a typical kind of setup where all you have is each other, and, you know, you're stuck in this monotonous day-to-day, this complacency, and this need to search for something else. And I mean, we've all had our best buds from high school, and, you know, our family situations as the characters vary greatly. But one thing we have is each other, and when Johnny gets those bus tickets, it's really like a uniting force. And then, of course, you know, we each have our own pitfalls and traps that we fall into as our characters. But the bond that we share as actors on stage is really quite special.
Yeah, the very first lines of the song Jesus of Suburbia is "I'm the son of rage and love," and I feel like that's the thing that really bonds these three guys together. Is they're angry dudes, but they like love each other. There's kind of a bromance going on in the show. There's you know, and Michael Mayer.
So is that with the characters or like you guys?
Both, I guess.
I think it translates to both.
There's a bit of a bromance in the cast as well.
I mean, we gotta like swallow each other's sweat and everything every night.
We're
anyway,
spitting on each other a
Too
lot.
much information.
Really close up.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it is, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the American Idiot tells a story of all these lost souls trying to find their place in the world, but at the end of the day, it is a love story of a bunch of friends who are there trying to help each other out, and they kind of get lost along the way, and then you see what happens to them and where they end up.
Okay, so early in the production, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, it's sort of the first chance the audience gets to breathe after being assaulted, I think was the word you used. Van, can you set up the song and like tell us about how you approach it every night?
Well, the song starts with this monologue, which is one of the more direct speeches to the audience that my character gives. And one of the lines that really stands out is the end of the world is over. Because we explain that the end of the world is sort of our 7-Eleven parking lot in our suburban town. And this is the first moment I've gotten to, let's say, New York City or whatever big city we moved to. And I realized that, wow, this is like a whole world of possibilities. And the joy of saying I walk alone and I can do whatever I want with my life. And I think that's what the song's about.
Enough talking. Let's hear it.
I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's home to me, and I walk alone. I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one, and I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk my shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I walk alone. I'm walking down the line that divides me somewhere in my mind, on the borderline of the edge and where I walk alone. Read between the lines
minds what's fucked up and everything's alright. Check my vital signs to know I'm still alive and I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk out. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I walk alone. Walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one, and I walk out. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I walk
Thank you.
Wow. Van, if you're going to use any more of that salty language, you have to give us notice so we can bleep that.
They said I could.
Okay, I'm just kidding. We can handle it. Okay, cool. So several of you were in the original Broadway production, and others have joined the cast for the touring company. For those of you that actually weren't part of the original one, but were spectators that actually got to see that in the audience, can you tell us what it's like to sort of, I guess first tell us your own first experience of the show and whether you ever imagined you'd be in the show and what it's like to sort of be on the other side.
I think I might win the award for the biggest American Idiot geek. I saw it 5 times on Broadway. Always in the front row, to the point that some of the actors, some of whom I knew beforehand and some of whom I didn't, oh, Matt's back. Like, he's like right there in the front. I thought that it really was genre changing.
Do you guys have a name for those people? Is it idiots? Yeah.
Idiots. It was genre changing, and like Jake said, to piggyback on that, like I thought that the story was incredible, the music was incredible, but the passion of the actors was what blew my mind. Like just to see, you know, 20, how many people were up there on Broadway? A couple more than we have now. 20-something people up there just sweating and singing and giving it like every ounce of energy that they had. And on Broadway, especially, if you're in the front 2 rows, I mean, I was 3 feet away from them, and it was the coolest thing. And I thought it was truly different. Well, they do lotteries in New York for those kinds of seats.
Okay, cool. Anyone else?
Oh, yeah.
I actually was an usher at the Broadway house that it was playing at, and I remember it was my night job, and as I'm auditioning in the city, and I came and saw it for free. Sorry, I didn't pay for that first ticket. But I saw it, I beat you, Matt. I think I saw the show as an usher maybe 50 times. Wow. And you know, usually at that job, you're able to go out into the lobby and you can just sit and read a book. But I found myself drawn to this show, and I called my agent up the next day and said, you know what? This is the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. I can do it all. I swear to you, I'll do the girls' parts too, if I have to. So yeah, it was quite an experience, and I am a huge musical theater geek first, and I've never seen anything like this before, and it's a remarkable piece.
So you guys do the show every night or many times, and does your relationship to the content change? Does anyone have a story about sort of what it was like the first time or what it's like the 100th time to get up there and do it?
I think the coolest thing about the show is that every night, we do it 8 times a week, so you bring something fresh to it every time, and the content is so emotional, and it's so heavy, a lot of it, that for me, I never have one show that's the same. I feel like I bring in what I'm feeling that day or what I just experienced, and it changes and it makes it fresh every single time. And that's the beauty of the choreography, the beauty of what we're singing, because the choreography is so specific, Stephen Hoggett's, that you put yourself into it every time. So it is set, and we each do the same thing, but it's with your own, your own flair to it and stuff. And that's why I think it's such a cool piece to do as an actor and as a human being, because it never gets old, ever, because it's just always something new.
That's great. You want to say something else? You want to add to that? She nailed it? Okay, cool. So you talked a little bit about the choreography. I want to talk about the creative team behind the show. Michael Mayer, who won a Tony for Spring Awakening, music supervisor Tom Kitt, who won a Pulitzer for Next to Normal, choreographer Stephen Hoggett, associate director Johanna McKeon, associate choreographer Lauren Lettero. This is quite a group of creatives that have helped put this show together. Do you guys work with them still? Is that an ongoing relationship, and what's that like?
Yeah, they came to Seattle last week to prep us for this city and just to check in on us, and keep the show in good shape.
Keep you honest?
Keep it fresh.
Are they still like meddling?
Oh yeah. Yeah, all the time.
Well, from the last question that you asked, you're saying, is it new every night? It is new every night, and so over time, what was sort of set as the show can become, something different. Stuff can get big or too big, and so every now and then the creatives will come and drop in on us and kind of rein it back in, they'll sometimes say, just to
or concede you're actually doing it better than they ever imagined.
That doesn't happen that often, but yeah, maybe.
I know, in the Broadway production, at 11 months in, our choreographer came and said, actually, let's change the choreography and what's her name? Now do this and throw your way this way. Just to freshen it up a bit, not because we weren't doing it right, but.
Cool. Okay, so another major member of the creative team, obviously, is Billy Joe Armstrong, and he's so fond of the project, he actually appeared as St. Jimmy for a number of weeks. Have some of you had the chance to meet him, and what was that like?
He did surprise us in Costa Mesa, which was amazing, and only a couple of us knew. Thank God I didn't know, because I would have freaked out if I would have known he was there. But that was the first time I'd met him, and I think a lot of us had met him, and he was so warm and loved the show.
So you met him before the performance?
That was my first, no, after the performance, thank God. But I know some of us, or some of the people in the cast got to work with him. I know Van did.
Yeah, the last 2 months of the Broadway run, I played this role, the Johnny role, and the last 3 weeks of the run, Billy Joe Armstrong played St. Jimmy with me, and it was so amazing because he would switch it up every single night. I mean, to where he was grabbing me by the face and making out with me some nights, and then he proposed to me on stage at the encore one night, and talk about keeping it fresh. We were playing off each other so much, it made this whole new life, and I had been doing the show for almost a year at that point. So just to see all the new possibilities that could come out of the show, it was pretty amazing.
So speaking of St. Jimmy, there's a lot of speculation on sort of what the character means on the internet. Is he a drug dealer? Is he a manifestation of Johnny's addiction, or some sort of combination of both? So Joshua, how did you approach the multiple layers of the character, and what do you try to bring to the performance?
I try to just enlighten Johnny with all the wrong ways to actually do it. Inside, I'm trying to help this guy and show him an awesome life, albeit through heroin or crystal meth or E or glitter. Yeah, he's Bacchus. He's Dionysus. He's the god of addiction. That's, he's not of this world. The only person that we really make eye contact is me and Johnny. Me and what's her name she never looks at me. I'll look directly at her, but she can't look at me because I don't exist in her world. It's kind of cool.
I have to say, you're very well cast.
I'll see you after.
Okay, there's another moment later in the production, the song 21 Guns, that proves to be another turning point for Johnny. He's pushed to some pretty violent behavior at the end of Know Your Enemy and is torn between his angels and his demons. Gabby, can you tell us how you approach this song each night from the point of view of the character What's Her Name?
Well, every night it's definitely very different. I'm always feeling an array of emotions. It's definitely the most vulnerable thing I've ever had to sing or perform in my lifetime. And right before it happens, Johnny tries to kill me with a knife because he's on a drug-induced moment.
Thanks to him.
And
Missed it by that much.
so right before I sing 21 Guns, that happens. So my emotions are definitely at the top and just everywhere. I don't even know where to begin. And as soon as the song starts, it's all about nurturing Johnny and putting him before myself and caring about someone so much that you would do anything for them. And yeah, that's what you
So all this drugs and debauchery, we've heard lots of stories. There's been a lot of talk on the internet about how that spills over into the actual cast. Any story? No, I'm just kidding.
Go on.
Okay, so 21 Guns. We're going to actually have a chance to hear them perform 21 Guns, and after that, we're going to be able to take questions here live. As you guys know, there's mics set up here. But first, let's hear the cast perform 21 Guns.
Do you know what's worth fighting for when it's not worth dying for? Does it take your breath away and you feel yourself suffocating? Does the pain weigh out the pride and you look for a place to hide? Did someone break your heart inside? You're in ruins.
21 guns, lay down your arms, give up the fight. 21 guns, throw up your arms into the sky, you and I.
When you're at the end of the road and you lost all sense of control, and your thoughts have taken their toll, when your mind breaks the spirit of your soul,
Your faith walks on broken glass,
and the hangover doesn't pass.
nothing's ever built to last. You're in ruins.
21 guns, lay down your arms, give up the fight. 21 guns, throw up your arms into the sky, you and I.
Did you try to live on your own
try. Something inside this heart has died. You're in ruins. 121 guns, lay down your arms, give up the fight. 121 guns, throw up your arms into the sky. 121 guns, lay down your arms, give up the fight. 121 guns, throw up your arms into the sky. You and
All right, thank you. So those with questions, please line up at either of the two mics there. And in the meantime, I'm going to fire off a few while you guys think of some. So there's been a trend in the past probably 10 years to create musicals based on a body of work of a recording artist, things like ABBA with Mamma Mia, Billy Joel with Moving Out, Queen with We Will Rock You. American Idiot is unusual in that it's not only from one group, but from a single album. The narrative of the play was already present to an extent when the album was created. How much of the story we see in the play was fleshed out later on, and how much do you guys believe was sort of intent upon the original launch of the album?
The mention of certain characters' names, I mean, how many songs do they mention St. Jimmy in? Or like when he says, Johnny says it's better than here, and that's in Novocaine. Almost every song mentions one of the characters' names. So
It's actually Jimmy in the original album. It's
oh,
Jimmy.
okay,
It
right.
says it's better.
And then we changed it, right. So they mention the names of Jesus of Suburbia. We say that quite a few times in all the different songs. So it's clear that they were intending there to be a through line. My character for sure is a creation. How do we explain, the song Dearly Beloved? There will be a pregnant girl, certain things were created, but Billy Joe really did it with our director, Michael Mayer. They came up with everything together. So it still had Green Day's ideas as the influence for how the story was fleshed out.
Cool. Okay, I see we have big lines. Why don't we take on this side first?
Hi, I'm really excited to see you at the Orpheum. So I have a quick question. I know as an audience member, I'll take away tons of things from the performance, but I want to ask you, as a cast, what's something that you wish audience members would take away that may be a nuanced gesture on stage or a thematic thing that may get lost at the Orpheum? What's something that I can keep my eye out for?
Well, this is a personal thing, but my character, Will, I never leave the stage. I'm literally, my character, the three guys are going to go to the city, and I find out that Heather, my girlfriend, is pregnant, so I stay behind. And a lot of people don't know that I never leave the stage, so through everything going on, check me out in the corner. See what's going on. All right, cool. Thank you.
This is like an actor's dream role, right?
It is and it isn't.
Was it written this way, or did you just...
No, that's how it was, created. That's right, yeah.
Great question. Okay, let's alternate to this side.
I was wondering what the audition process was like for the show.
Yeah, it was different for everybody. Me personally, I wasn't in the Broadway cast at all, but I did audition for the tour in Los Angeles, where I'm from. And so there's, for me, it was like a weekend with a series of auditions. You see certain people, and then you see more people, and then you have to dance, you have to sing some more songs. There's other people for this tour who were in the Broadway cast who were asked to come back. There's some people, actually, Jillian there was supposed to be in the Broadway cast, and they had to close. So right before she was gonna start she wasn't able to, unfortunately.
What about for the Broadway production?
I auditioned for the show a lot of times, many times, and I actually didn't get it twice because I wasn't quite right for both tracks that I went in for. And so I probably total auditioned for it about 8 times. And then right before Christmas, I just got a random phone call just asking if I wanted to be in the show. And I kind of thought I was being punked a little bit, but it was true. So then I started rehearsal like that Monday. It was like a Friday, and then I started it like that Monday.
Cool.
So it was neat.
Now, is there a question behind the question? You are at a mic.
No.
Yes, I would guess that for this show, a lot of the audience has heard the music and the lyrics before. How does that change things for you as performers when you're going to an audience that at least thinks they know the show versus something that's completely new to an audience?
I think it's actually one of the things that helps us because the audience knows the music. So when a song starts that they know, it actually sort of, you can feel a ripple of energy sometimes, you know, for the big songs like Holiday, like 21 Guns, even Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Sometimes we'll get applause off the top of those songs because of the recognition. Which you won't get in other shows, which is great. And also, it's very cool because if, for people who really know the album, once the song starts, what Tom Kitt has done and the arrangements that he has added, especially with things like the strings, and we have Alone is our cello player. You'll see him underneath the stairs if you come and see the show. It's so exciting because the songs are so are taken so amazingly from the album and put into our world. So some audience members are sort of sitting there going, "Oh wow, that's so cool that they did that with this song." And we sort of just heard that with 21 Guns, being very different from the album version, but still such a gorgeous, beautiful song.
Are there disadvantages of having an audience that is expecting certain things or that knows the show?
Whatever someone's expecting when they come see our show, they will walk out being like, I wasn't expecting that. I think it shocks even the people that know the album inside and out. We do things with the music that they weren't expecting.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the audience members that I've encountered don't know what to expect, so they come in with little expectations and are completely blown away by what they see. There are a lot of fans of Green Day that couldn't wait for the show to come out because they bought the album and they listened to it over and over. So when they finally get to come and see the show, they're, I guess, mesmerized with what they see because it's pretty awesome.
Cool. Yes.
Yeah, I have to say, seeing it the first time, I was surprised about the lack of dialogue and the whole TVs and everything. It was a real surprise, but I loved it. My question is, I know doing a show 8 times a week that requires that much energy is pretty rough, even when you're located at home. What's it like to tour, and what makes touring worthwhile?
Yeah, it's amazingly challenging to try and be as good to your body and your voice and your heart and all those things as you need to be to sustain a show like this when you're on the road. I think the winter was particularly rough because we were doing cities in the East Coast and we were doing mostly 1-week engagements. So we were traveling, we were doing 8 shows a week and then traveling on our day off on the Monday. And it's tough to make your mental and physical and spiritual and all those healths a priority, but having each other, having great people to travel with, and I guess the show also is kind of its own therapy, I find, and I think a lot of us find that. And so the kind of feelings and frustrations and challenges that you face traveling with it, you kind of get a chance to work them out every night on stage in a creative way. So.
Do you guys have a tour bus, or do you fly to the locations and fly?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Because you usually set up in town for a good while, right?
Depends.
No, actually, we on average, we're in each city about a week. 2 cities were 2 weeks. Here we're for 4 weeks, and in LA we're at 6 weeks. And honestly, it's Sunday, we close. Monday, we fly. and then Tuesday, we open, and that's it. We have a tech, beforehand, a quick sound check, and then we open, so it's just, you don't stop.
So whoever put you on the East Coast in the winter and out here in the summer needs a talking to.
Yeah. I think that's been one of the most challenging things. You go from city to city, it's climate to climate, and this is a rock opera. We're singing most of the show. A lot of allergies, a lot of vocal issues. Some climates are drier than others, and it's really hard when you have to maintain your voice and also maintain your body because you have to continue to go to the gym. You have to continue to take care of Denver.
Wait a minute. Are
Denver,
you guys
Colorado.
punks or are you divas?
Sorry?
The answer's always both.
It's even audience to audience is completely different. We've different reactions based on sort of where politically we are, sort of red state, blue state. Especially because the show has really strong political undercurrents. So that kind of changes.
Do you
what
feel
the thing
safe
is.
here? That's why 4 weeks.
We love it here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. More questions.
Yeah, hey, going sort of back to talking about the arrangements from the question before that. The arrangements are awesome with the strings and the harmonies and stuff. And I was just wondering if you guys played around with arrangements for other songs that didn't make it into the musical or even other Green Day albums, because I would buy like 1 or 2 more albums of more arranged Green Day songs.
Tom Kitt, who he was saying won the Pulitzer for Next to Normal, he did all the arrangements, and Green Day fell in love with his arrangements so much that they asked him to arrange the string parts on their next album, 21st Century Breakdown, which is what Know Your Enemy and 21 Guns in the show is from. So they were that obsessed with his arrangements. I know they did write some stuff that didn't make it in, like people used to riff in Homecoming. Home, home, home. And they were like, okay, never mind, no thanks. There's a few things that didn't make it, but most of it did. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, so there's no like
Okay,
unreleased
sorry.
tracks gonna sneak out or anything.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for coming. I'm here on behalf of the at Google team, and I have some questions from the moderator, which is folks all over the world who ask some questions of you. The first one is from some idiot. That's a term of affection for you guys, right? Green Day Freak 88. It doesn't say where they're from. Says they've seen the show 11 times, and it's the best show ever, and they want to know what inspired some of you to try out for it.
Yeah, it varies.
Yeah, for me, it was when I saw it, I was already actually cast in a different show, and it was taking them a minute to get me the contract, and I happened to call out of the show I was in and go see it in Berkeley, and it was at a time in my life when I was full of rage and love, like chock full of rage and love. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, I need to freaking do that, and because it's going to help me ultimately. And so then I auditioned and then did that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't always have the luxury of being picky. Like our agents tell us to go to an audition, and we go, and it just so happens that some of the time, if you're right for the job, you get a show that will change your life, and it will be artistically and financially fulfilling for you. And I think we've all found that with this show, and there are other shows out there that are wonderful, that are life-changing for the actor and the audience alike. And they're not all like that. All theater is wonderful, and it's great to do it, and we're all blessed to do it. But when you get a show like this and you happen to get the gig, it's unbelievable. We just kind of show up where we're told.
And I think for a lot of us too, a lot of us grew up playing guitar and writing music and stuff, so this is kind of a unique opportunity to let our rock star and theater dream kind of come to fruition at once, Yeah.
Cool. Can I get one more in?
Let's alternate, and we'll come back to you. Yes.
At the risk of sounding like a total creeper, I saw you guys last night and you were awesome. But I have a musical theater geeky question in that I've seen a lot of shows. I actually do theater too, and like watching you guys on the stage just rocking out and belting your faces off while you're like headbanging and doing the crazy awesome choreography. Like, how do you keep your tone? This is like super nerdy. How do you keep your tone like so straight? I'm just curious, like if you just go for it or if you have like techniques.
Technique, breath support. Our awesome musical conductor, Jared Stein, keeps us in check with vocal warm-ups every day.
It's also just practice makes perfect honestly. I don't think anybody that started this show was like, yeah, I got this, right off the bat. I mean, it's something that no one's ever had to do before. It's just a completely unique experience. So practice makes perfect.
Yeah, your vocal cords are just muscles. So, we've done the show.
muscle memory.
Last night was show 179, I think somebody said, of this show. And so, after a while, you even on your days when you do feel tired and you are headbanging and you go, oh my gosh, this is so hard today, your muscles still know how to do it.
Actually, your vocal cords are just muscles, but yeah.
Also, breathing is the most important thing. Especially in this show, your energy gets up here so much because you're so intense that you forget to breathe sometimes. But as long as you keep that breath going, I think that is the key to doing this show.
And confidence. Like when we first started rehearsals, there's that little voice in your head that's like, oh my God, am I gonna crack on this note while I'm pounding my head? And eventually that goes away. So yeah, you do just kind of go for it, and it happens.
And how much of the singing that we hear in the audience is actually lip syncing? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We've been lip syncing all day so far here.
I'll follow that up with an actual fun question. So this is from Arella in Seattle, who wants to know, do you have any backstage rituals before the show?
Yes.
Do it?
Oh, yeah.
Should we do that?
I mean, use expletive?
Yeah.
Can we expletive?
Bring it. Go ahead.
All right, so
Yeah.
every day before the show, like right before the curtain goes up, we all get in a huddle around Johnny's bed, and somebody shouts out, 1, 2, 3, 4, shit, motherfucker, motherfucker, goddamn!
And also, I'm also big. I'm a handshake geek. In every show that I do, I try to get. We have I think there's like 11 that have occurred naturally during Jesus Suburbia backstage. We all have a big handshake ritual.
Sometimes before us girls run on in American Idiot, we mosh pit backstage and we run and ram into each other until we have to run on.
And the ladies recently have taken to, when the curtain is down, they've been running some track laps recently. That's a new thing that's been happening. So, lots of things.
That's really cool. We start our Google Plus meetings with the same chant.
It works. You should.
Okay.
I thought that was supposed to be confidential. I have a TV-related question. So how do you guys feel about all of the movies and the TV shows that are being made about theater and life in theater, things that happen behind the scenes, maybe specifically SMASH or...
Are you talking about Glee?
No. Actually, I recently started watching SMASH, so that's where the...
Well, Michael Mayer,
show came
actually,
from.
the director of our show, also directed a couple episodes of SMASH right at the get-go. I think it's incredible that as the years go on, that, starting with Chicago and all these new movie musicals and these television shows, it brings such a new audience back to the New York theater, as far as I'm concerned. There's a really vibrant young audience that is now interested into the Broadway musical again. I feel like, I believe these last 2 years, it's been record-breaking box office years for Broadway seasons, which has not always been the case with the economy. So just to have this new energy and this new interest, a resurgence of energy back towards the Broadway stage is very important. And I think that's all being generated by these movie musicals and these television shows, for sure.
Would you say these shows are true to what actually happens and
No
the process
comment.
that goes through?
I think we have I think a lot of us have like a love-hate relationship sometimes with things like that, but especially like now the Les Mis movie is doing live singing for their which is amazing, and that's so great, and it sounds real, or at least hopefully it will when it does come out. But of course you watch SMASH and everybody has beautiful apartments, and it's massive, and they live by themselves in New York, in Midtown, where everybody here is well, maybe not so much, but it is what it is. But I think that anything that gets more eyes sort of on our business for us is amazing. So.
What about the competition? And that's last.
Competitions of American Idol and stuff like that. I think that Tony Vincent, the original St. Jimmy on Broadway, was recently on The Voice, I think it's different for each person, I guess. They probably have, again, anything that makes singing, it makes people realize just sort of how tough a lot of the stuff is, I guess. But I don't know, is there anybody else who wants to add something about the competition?
I mean, it definitely does influence. I don't know about me, but just seeing, especially with the American Idol and Sing Off and all those shows, they do greatly influence even the style that music is written now in musical theater. With a lot of shows right now, how the leads' vocal parts and what they sing, there's a lot more riffing and all of that. It has changed musical theater, and that's good and bad. People who, let's say, do not have like a standard, legit, classic musical theater voice have a notch, have a place. And maybe people who do, there's not as many parts that are written for them. It's as with anything, it's a double-edged. There's lots of good, and like Kelvin said, it's brought a lot of great attention back towards Broadway, and they're bad with everything.
But I think as far as like competition goes for like, I think what you meant is like on Smash, like Ivy and whatever her other name is. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's like stalking each other to like see who's gonna like get the part. I mean, I always think that like, I'm gonna go out there, do my audition. If they want me, they want me. If they don't, they don't. I'm gonna get another job down the line, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people that are professionals, that's just the way it works. So you never know what somebody can see in you that you're not even sure that you're putting out or not. So as opposed to like, going head to head in the bathroom about, are you gonna get this part? I don't think it's really like that. I've never known it to be like that personally. But it makes good drama on TV.
All right. Thank you guys for your questions. We're going to invite the cast up for one more song, Good Riddance.
Thank you, Google.
Another turning point, fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go.
So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time.
It's something unpredictable. In the end is right.
I hope you had the time of your life.
The photographs and still frames in your mind.
Hang it on a shelf in good health and good time.
Tattoos of memories and destiny on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while.
It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. Something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time